What's going on, New York Giants fans? We finally have this video up, running. We're looking good. We had some technical difficulties going on before. And man, I'm very excited. I am very excited. I think that with how the draft is going to possibly play out, the Giants, without having to trade up, they look like they're going to be in a good situation. But if you guys were able to stop by last night, I was able to get Giant Opinion Sports and Easy 3 on here. Honestly, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. We have the video up, so if you want to go take a look at it, um, we have the video up. You could go look. And honestly, it was a hell of a show. Hopefully, they can stop by today. We're going to try to get some Giants content creators on the show today. We're going to be sending out the links. So if we have any Giants fans that want to come in, talk some Giants football with us while the draft starts, we'll be able to get that done. I'm going to put on the draft right now so that we could watch it. Looks like it should be starting relatively soon. But yeah, I'm really excited. I personally am I'm really happy with how the draft ended up playing. And I think that a lot of Giants fans they were kind of upset, which I understood, with Philly trading up. I was pretty upset as well. And for me, I just think it's more of I want blood with Philly. I just think that, since them throwing away the game cost us going to the playoffs, which yes, we should have won more games, but since then, I the hatred for the Eagles has definitely gone up. But they didn't have to do much to really jump up two spots. They got their wide receiver. We in the end, and I feel, got the better haul, and I think that we got a very good player with Kadarius Toney, and I like him. I really do like Kadarius Toney. I think that he's one of those players that you can really put him all across the field. You can have him on the outside. You can have him in the slot. You can have him, in the backfield as a running back. You could have him in your special teams. So Kadarius Toney, I've seen a lot of Giants fans come out and say that he's the poor man's version of Tyreek Hill. I don't want to say that. I definitely do see the similarities. I know that there are some Giants fans that feel that he's the new Percy Harvin. To me, I think that's kind of lazy. I see it, but at the same time, I don't see it. I think that they're two different wide receivers in and of themselves. So for me, I don't really necessarily see that. But what I do see in a player like Kadarius Toney, he's 5'11", he's 194 pounds, and I think that he had one hell of a year at in Florida, and I think that he really fits the mold of what the Giants and Joe Judge are looking for in wide receiver. And you can't complain with what they received, right? They got a first round pick next year. They got the fourth round pick next year. They got the 164th pick, which is the fifth round pick of Chicago this year. And they got Kadarius Toney. If you're asking me, would I trade the first, the fourth of next year, the fifth round this year, and Kadarius Toney for Devontae Smith? As much as I like Devontae Smith as a talent, I can't do that. I can't do that trade. So for me, Dave Gettleman definitely did not get fleeced. That's something that he wanted to avoid. And A plus, I got to give him an A plus for that trade in and of itself, because for his first trade back, I gotta say this much. He definitely impressed me. He definitely impressed me, and I think that at a worst case scenario, and I don't want to read too much into it, if it doesn't go well with Daniel Jones, you could absolutely package that pick as well as your first round pick that the Giants would have and trade up. But I just think that with how well, excuse me, yes, how well that Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge executed free agency, there's no excuses for Daniel Jones. There isn't. I think that Daniel Jones, he's in a good position right now to succeed. He's going to have a healthy Saquon Barkley back. We're going to have Kyle Rudolph, who's definitely a security blanket over Evan Ingram. You're getting your dominant number one wide receiver, Kenny Galladay, who's going to be able to get those 50-50 balls. So not every ball is going to have to be perfect. And when you throw in a player like Kadarius Toney in that lineup, like I said, the versatility is there. I could see, a fake screen to Saquon Barkley. The defense bites that. Daniel Jones turns around and just dumps that off to Kadarius Toney, and he's a player that could create separation. I think that's something that the Giants really do need. That's something that Giants fans have been stating that we need. But let me take the sip of water real quick. But Kadarius Toney, solid pick, solid player. I was a little shocked. I think a lot of Giants fans were because I thought that at 20 we were going to go edge. In the live stream we were talking about, is it going to be Jalen Phillips? Is it going to be Kwity Paye? And then we saw Jalen Phillips get taken by Miami, which that was a good pick for Miami. They got the two Jalen's in the first round, so that's awesome for them. But I thought at that point it made sense getting Kwity Paye, considering the fact that I know that some Giants fans feel that he would be a good scheme fit in this defense. Me personally, I see it, but I don't see it. I think that it would be a project to really get him adjusted into this scheme. But he's still a solid player, and honestly, for the kind of defensive end slash edge that Kwity Paye is, I think that it's best that he landed on a team like Indianapolis, because you pay him there on the defensive line next to DeForest Buckner and them, man, you got yourselves a very solid defense. But I like it. We're gonna see what the Giants do today. Today we're gonna have the 42 pick, excuse me, the 42 pick, 76 pick, the 116th pick. And honestly, I'm really really excited to see what the New York Giants do, because I think that honestly, with the talent that fell in the second round, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants traded up. Just to name a couple few, we had Jeremiah, I can't pronounce his name. JOK, we're going to call him. I know that's why everybody calls him, out of Notre Dame. He fell. Azeez Ojulari fell. Tevin Jenkins, offensive lineman out of Oklahoma State, fell. Creed Humphrey fell. So, he would be good in as a guard for us. Landon Dickinson fell. Just Joseph Asai fell. So there's a lot of players that really fell that I could see the New York Giants, whether they trade up or not, they should be in a good position to land one of these stud players. Now, in my personal opinion, who I think that the New York Giants should select if he's there, which I don't think that he would be there, would be Ojulari. I don't think that he'll be there by the time we select him. But with the players that I just named, plus Carlos Basham, Ronnie Perkins, you have Asante Samuel Jr., Jabril Cox. There's still players that could go ahead, so I could see a player like Ojulari or JOK fall down to us. And if they do, you got to take him. You got to take him because I don't think I know that Giants fans really want us to address the guard position, which we should, and I know that we will, or I believe that we will. Excuse me. But I just think that the Giants want to really have these young guys establish themselves and grow. I don't think that they want to give up on them within a year. They did go 3 offensive linemen last year. I still think they're going to go offensive linemen, but something tells me that they're going to go offensive linemen in the third round. I could see that, but I also would not be surprised if the New York Giants decided to go offensive guard, with pick 42, because you're getting right there, you're getting a stud. You're really, really getting a stud. And I think that at that point, it really comes down to who's there. I want to say it comes down to the best player available, but if a player like Tevin Jenkins is there and a player like, I don't know, Ronnie Perkins is there, for me, I'm gonna go Tevin Jenkins just so that we can secure up that offensive line, and then I'm sure that we'll go edge on round 3. But we got some options here. We really do have some options. I can see them going Landon Dickinson as well. I'm not too sold on Landon Dickinson, but I think that he is a good player. I think that he does have to fix his mechanics. He has some strength to him. I don't necessarily dislike his hands, but he's just one of those players that if he's there, I may take him. But I just think that right now, what the New York Giants should do is, if a player, like I said, if Ronnie Perkins is there and you have a player like Creed Humphrey, you go Creed Humphrey. But what's going on, Giant Opinion Sports? Hopefully, we're going to try to get you on here. I'm going to drop the link. Try to get you on here and talk some drafts here. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. And honestly, man, I really can't. I really can't get upset with what the New York Giants have done so far. I think if you're asking me, the New York Giants had a very good offseason. And so far with how the draft has been playing out, it's just adding to that this A plus of an offseason that I think the New York Giants are having. But yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this plays out. We got Jacksonville on the board right now. We're gonna see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see who they're selecting. We got them on the board. Let's see. Let's see. We're gonna see, man. I mean, Jacksonville, they picked up Travis Etienne. I believe that's his name. From Clemson. So you put Trevor Lawrence back with his running back that he had in college, who he's a stud, man. He's a stud. And pairing him with Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville might be an above average team this year. I'm not too sure. I know some Giants fans aren't sold on Trevor Lawrence fully. I really do like him. I think that we're gonna see a great player in Trevor Lawrence. And we got my man, Giant Opinion Sports. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, is my mic working better today?
You sound great, man. You sound crystal clear.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was on my
And we
wife's
got
phone
you a
last
picture.
night. I went back and rewatched the stream, and my mic was horrible like the first hour. It was cutting out.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it sounded fine, but when I went back, I heard some stuff. But hey, hopefully this. I think it sounds better. You sound crystal clear. We got you a
All right, so
picture today. I like the
so I
picture
got
of
the
Dave
Gettleman
Gettleman.
with his arms up, just in case any Gettleman haters show up. I've been battling with them for the last 2 hours online.
Man,
Giants
honestly,
fans are
yeah,
really
I've
upset
been
about
seeing.
the trade back and the pick. I've so far. All right, so already so far in the last hour, I've heard the pick last night was a reach. He's a second round prospect.
Yep,
There's
I've
red
heard that.
flags. He's injury prone. Well, hold on. I think I got a list here. Actually, I'm keeping list for when I gonna make my video. It's
Man.
unbelievable that Giants fans and well, not just Giants fans, all fans don't realize that what they say is an opinion, and what we're saying is
Mhm.
opinion too. But what they like to do is state these things as facts. And what you're actually doing, you have no when you make the claim, the burden of proof is on you to bring forth evidence. And when we have no
That's
insight
true.
of what's
That's
going
true.
on inside the scouting department and with you know what's going on in there, we don't know what their board is. We are just
Hmm.
completely talking out of our ass. And when we try and talk and make it sound like what we're saying as fans is a fact, we're actually we're being fallacious, if you know what I mean.
No, no, I think you definitely have a point there, and I think that I mean I definitely saw some mocks that to me it didn't make sense, and at some point you had to just kind of take the assumption out of it. We don't know what these teams are gonna do. As much as I want to say, oh, the Giants were, locked into Devontae Smith, which they most likely were. We don't necessarily know who they had higher on the draft board. We're not in there. So for me, I know a lot of Giants fans were just kind of assuming what the New York Giants were going to do, and it didn't work out in that favor, and they kind of flipped. Um, which you're going to have that with every team, man. I agree with you there though, because I did see some Giants fans on Twitter calling it a reach, saying that we picked up an injury prone player, but they didn't have that issue when we were picking up Kenny Galladay or Dory Jackson, who are both injury
Well,
prone
how do we know
players.
until we see the kid play? That's my thing. Like, how do
Exactly,
we know?
exactly. And
How
and you
can we
know
say
what?
anything?
You're absolutely right, and you can't you can't how can anybody make an assumption on how a player is going to do in the NFL without them having to take a snap in the NFL?
It's
You know,
silly. It makes you look silly.
yeah,
And and you know what though? It almost feels like some Giants fans, if he ends up, they say it right. They call this. It's a reach. He's going to be injury prone. He's horrible. And then if he turns into a great receiver, they're secretly pissed off because all they care about is being right.
right,
Are
yep.
you even a fan of the team, or you just want to be right about stuff? Because I want to be wrong. When I have an opinion towards a player, and I have questions or doubts that I think they're going to be good, I want to be proved wrong. But I just feel
Mhm.
like there's a lot of fans nowadays. Man, Giants fans drive me crazy. As a Giants YouTuber, I have to deal with them. And don't get me wrong, there's days where I love my Giants fans. I am a Giants fan. And there's days that I just want to start wrestling with them. I'm sending my address to people. Just show up with dudes.
We're pretty much in the same boat. I know I was saying last night, and I still feel this way. I don't think we're as bad as Eagles fans, but I do think we definitely have some fans that drive me pretty freaking crazy. And it's like you're gonna have those fans you can never make happy, and it goes to your point of it's not even about people can't admit when they're wrong, which is why like I respect like Mike Too Nice because he's made takes that he ended up going back and saying, "Hey, I was wrong. Like I was
I
really
know what
wrong
you mean,
about
but
this behavior."
he held on to the bitter end. He fell on his
Hmm.
sword.
Yep, yep. And it's like I could respect you admitting that you're wrong, as opposed to doing everything you can in your power to prove that you're right and making yourself look more of an asshole.
Well, I think we all think highly of our opinions,
Yeah.
but I think at some point we got to fall back unless we're actually a scout for an NFL team. I think when a team makes a pick, you might want to fall back and kind of take a second look at the player they chose, decisions they've made. And to be honest with you, you were saying that you did. I think Gettleman knew that Eagles was gonna trade up and take Devontae Smith because he blatantly said that he had a conversation with Howie Roseman
With
and they were
Howie Roseman.
talking
Yep.
about a trade. He
Hmm.
knew the Eagles were going to trade up. Then how come he didn't jump on the phone instantly with Dallas and move up and guarantee himself Devontae Smith?
Yeah, I mean,
No, he
you
got
make
off
a
the
great
phone with
point there.
Philadelphia and
Hmm.
he called back up the GM of the Bears and said, "All right, let's talk about this deal."
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what
I was definitely
that's my
shocked.
opinion.
No, I mean, because I honestly was really shocked that Dallas would trade in the division to go get them a very good wide receiver for Philadelphia. I was a little shocked, but to me, I think you're right. With them having the conversation, no GM is just going to go ask an opposing rival GM, would you be comfortable trading with me? Like you're hinting to me that you're looking to trade up. So I think you're
Exactly.
right. He definitely knew that there was a possibility that Philly was going to trade up, and I think that's why the Giants are doing extensive research on these defensive ends and these guards. And even now we're seeing these wide receivers as well. Just in case of a trade back scenario, and I'm happy. I'm really happy with how everything has played out for the Giants so far.
I don't know. Giants fans are pissing me off today. That's all I can say.
You and me too, man. I just got it muted at this point. I'm just like, all right, man. So
I lost the password. I forgot the password of my Twitter, and I think like the last time I was on there, it's like I'm done with this anyways. I can't do this Twitter stuff anymore. It's like there's not even a single good person on there. I think the only person I was
yeah,
actually talking on there was like the Hub or whatever who makes Giants videos. He
yeah.
was
There's a
actually
couple
decent.
that I may like, interact with on Twitter on there, but definitely there are, you'll see your fair share of fans, not content creators, but fair share of fans, that are just it's a little too much. Like you can't make them happy, and like I said, I saw people saying that like you said, this was a reach on a player, which to me, I couldn't disagree with that
How are you
even
qualified?
more.
All right, I get that's your
Exactly.
opinion, right? But how are
Yep.
you qualified to even come out and say? I mean, that just seems ballsy to me.
It is. It is balls. He hasn't even taken a snap in the NFL.
Now, if they took somebody that was projected to be in the fourth round by everybody,
No.
but Kadarius Tony was projected to go right around the spot, 18 to the end of the first
Hmm.
round. You heard it. I
You're
straight
not
up
going to make
called it
fans
in the
happy.
stream. If I thought it was a reach, why would I call out? Why would I call out Tony in the stream live with all of us in there?
Hmm.
I
And
don't know.
you know what? It's
They
one of
want to be
those
mythical.
things. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's one of those things where you can't make these fans happy. They're going to be miserable regardless of whatever happens. And honestly, I have seen I saw a fan say, which I get it, but at the same time, I trust what the Giants did because I saw a fan state, that they were upset about the trade back because Rashawn Slater was there. If the Giants felt that what the haul they received was more than the player in Rashawn Slater, I'm gonna trust what the Giants think is the best option. And you know what? Rashawn Slater went to a good team in the Chargers. Hopefully that plays out. But I
And if
got
you're
no
just saying
complaints.
that as your opinion, that's fine. But these people are arguing to their last breath, and like they're saying it's a fact. Like this is factual. No, no,
Well,
no. This is your opinion. It's
and you know
all
what?
our.
All I'm gonna say is, man, thank God half of these people aren't real analysts, man.
At the end of the day, how many of these picks are wrong that the GMs make and the entire scouting department? It's their opinion too when they make the pick.
Hmm.
We don't again even them is obviously they're much more qualified than us. But even then, we don't know these kids. It's a coin flip. We don't know who's going to hit and who's not.
No, we don't. And even these analysts are wrong sometimes. Most times they are. Excuse me. With who they think that the teams will select. And that's I honestly I feel that's why they make these giant these giant. Why do I keep saying giant? These so many
It's all
mocks. You know.
biased because there's no way you can know every single player in a draft. So at some
Yep.
point, you're going to need a meter. So I'm guilty of it too. When I go to start looking at players, I get to a point where all right, now I'm going to start looking for some guys that I haven't heard of, didn't see much of, and I'm going to
Hmm.
go to somebody's draft board to get an idea of where a player is mocked or you know what I mean, or slotted or ready to go. And
Hmm.
from that point, so there's even like a built-in bias even towards anything I do and put online. You're working off other. Obviously, you're gonna like, oh, I like this guy. He pops. Something pops about him. You move him up your list. Up you rank them higher than what they do or less than what they do. But
Hmm.
there's still that bias, that pecking order that's already in place there for you. So
Yeah. I mean,
I
at
think,
the
uh,
I mean, look, you're right. Easy three. You can't please majority of Giants fans. Man, it's, at the end of the
no, no,
day, I'm
I'm
not in
not
the
blaming the
business of
majority. I
pleasing
hope I
them.
didn't come across that way. I'm blaming the negative ones and the ones that sit on Twitter and act like they know every damn thing, and they act like they can make better decisions than the GM. That's not
Oh
the
yeah, no, I
case.
know what you're saying.
I
Yeah.
understand the casual fans upset because they've been hearing us make mock drafts for 6 months now, and all they're hearing is Waddle, Smith. And when we
Hmm.
trade back, now you're hearing Tony and all these other names, Bateman, and they don't know anything about him. They think they're all going to think it's a reach, and I
Yep.
understand that. But we got real educated people who actually look at these players and still come up with these horrible conclusions. So, yeah, maybe I should frame it. I don't mean all Giants. I don't want anybody to take it that way. It's the
No,
ones that
no, it didn't
speak
come
out
off
like
that way.
they know more than the entire team, and they're right about the pick, and Dave Gettleman, Joe Judge is
The
wrong.
internet GMs.
It, yeah,
That's what
yeah,
they are.
couch
The internet
GMs.
GMs. I like that. The couch GMs. What's going on, DMAC Warrior? Thanks for stopping by, man. How you been? Yeah, man. It's. I'm not gonna sit here and complain. I mean, you also had guy, he pisses me off. And it's like it's why I don't even watch ESPN anymore or any of these sports shows. You have people like Max Kellerman talking about the Giants should have selected Justin Fields. I'm not even gonna entertain that. That was the stupidest take I've ever heard. I lost brain cells personally listening to it. Um, I got I don't know, man.
And as much as Stephen A. bashes the Giants, even he laughed at it. So I mean,
Exactly.
that
Yep.
tells you all you need to know.
All right, so we
So what time's the pick starting up? 7:30.
Actually, I will be honest with you. The Jaguars selected while we were talking. They picked up a corner out of Georgia. Out of Georgia. Hold on. But the Jets, they're the second team on the board. They just selected Elijah Moore just now.
Oh
Just now.
wow, wow.
That's a good player for them. I didn't think he was 5'9". I thought he'd be like 5'11". To be honest with you. Interesting.
I wish Darnold got this whole setup that this new Wilson kid's gonna get. Holy moly!
I honestly, I mean, I think the Jets are in good hands with Robert Saleh. I don't know if he'll have necessarily the same effect that Joe Judge had his first year. But I do think that I really do think that Robert Saleh is going to come in and do well for the Jets. I
Hope
just
so.
who's gonna really help mold Zach Wilson because Robert Saleh is a defensive coach is my only question. Let me see who do they have at offensive coordinator. Let's see.
He was with the 49ers. They wanted to
Yeah.
get
Oh, Mike LaFleur. Mike LaFleur.
they wanted to get a different coach from 49ers, but the 49ers blocked him, so he couldn't bring him over. I think they upgraded that guy to OC in San Fran.
Yeah, no.
I don't
And
know.
Easy
It's
Three,
a
you're
quick
right.
guess.
Max is definitely trolling for clout. Honestly, at this point, that's really what the media is. I'm not going to say that they're trolling for clout, but I think that it's definitely like they're doing things for clicks. They're doing things for stir up. I do think that certain people in the media do watch things that creators do on YouTube. I think that, and I could be going out on a limb there. I'm not saying that they're watching every single
Well, I
content
know
creator.
that Max Kellerman
But
does because he has CP from Knicks Fan TV on like 3 times a week on his radio show.
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
not know that. Huh. But you know what? It would make sense. It would make sense. And I think that a lot of people are starting to realize the other bullshit that these people in the media are spewing out, and they're getting more of their news online than they would, turning on the TV. Because these analysts just come off like they don't even watch the game. So, but
yeah.
we
They're very
got
uninformed
ourselves.
nowadays.
Oh, I don't mean to cut you off, my man. I just want to get
You're
this
good.
this
You're good. You're
notification
good.
out really quick. The Broncos traded up to 35, and they will be selecting North Carolina running back Javante Williams.
Hmm.
Hey, I mean that's not bad. I know that they let Philip Lindsay go, so I don't know if they still have Melvin Ingram over there. I'm gonna check now.
Did you see Joe Tryon went at the very end of the first?
Yeah, he did to Tampa. Ain't that crazy?
Something.
Tampa is. I look as much as bad as Tampa's been in recent years. The fact that they were able to really get it right within 1 year and retain everybody that they were gonna potentially lose this offseason. That's I got to give a lot of credit to that organization because they set themselves up to really, at least in my opinion, at least go win one more. Maybe not this year, but I feel like they have a chance to win one more. Um, we're gonna see. Kudos to Tampa. I think that Joe Tryon's a good fit over there.
Aziz Ojolari is still on the board, right?
Yep, he is. Yep, he
Giants can
is.
trade up, man.
That's what I was talking about earlier. If there was any player that I would trade up for, it would be for Aziz Ojolari. I either that or if like let's say two spots ahead, JOK was there, or maybe like a Tevin Jenkins potentially. But for Aziz Ojolari, yeah, if he's there at 40 or even at 39, because right now we're at 35, you gotta take him. I'm just more worried that a team like Philadelphia or potentially Atlanta who needs some help on the defensive side. Could take a player like Ojolari. They could take JOK. I think Philly needs offensive line. So I could see them going either Creed Humphrey. I could see them taking a Landon Dickinson. But I'm not too sure. What you think, man? You think that he'll make it to 42?
I'm not sure. I expect him to go any second here.
Yeah, I didn't think. I did not think he would go this far. I saw mocks where he was mocked to the Ravens. I thought they needed a wide receiver, but I saw mocks where he was mocked to the Ravens, which I thought that'd be a good fit next to Patrick Queen.
Well, I wasn't huge on Ojolari. I was way higher on Quiddy Pay, but I do think he could be at a minimum a decent, like I was saying last night, a decent third down and long kind of edge rusher. He just needs to work on some pass rush moves.
Yeah, I
I
hear
do.
you.
I view him like a Yannick Ngakwe. I don't know why, but it's like the only comp that I keep getting every time I watch the guy. I view him like a little bit better Lorenzo Carter, maybe a little bit more athletic. Very
I
similar
definitely
length.
see the Yannick Ngakwe comparison. Um, I think that honestly, when it comes off the ball, the speed is there. He plays with such an aggression, man. And if we could get a player like that, I would love to see how Patrick Graham would utilize him.
I worry about him against I worry about him on defense against running quarterbacks. If I was a team, that had like a really good running quarterback in my division, I'd probably pass on him just because he's not too great at setting the edge. He's gonna he gets eaten up by read option, so that would scare me
Mhm.
a little bit. Um, yeah, he's not too great against a run either. I've heard people say from what I've seen, it seems like he's just a risk taker. Like I was saying the other night, if somebody's pulling, he'll jump in on the guard and he'll get some tackles for a loss here and there because he's quick enough to get in there and block up a lane real quick, or at
Yeah,
least redirect a running back to somewhere else to where maybe a teammate gets a run for a loss. But I figured
yeah,
he would have went in
I
the
agree.
first. I
He
figured instead of
should
the
have
Joe
went in the
Carolina, he would have went.
first. He should have. It's honestly, man, the talent that has fallen to the second round, kind of for to me is kind of similar to how last year translated almost with Xavier McKinney. You know, he was projected to go in the first round. A lot of people thought he was going to go to Dallas, um, but a first round talent fell in the second round, and luckily we were able to pick him up. And that's what's really happening here. You know, the Giants. They're looking like they're going to be in a good position because Miami, they just took Oregon safety Javon Holland.
Hmm,
So that's an interesting player.
it's a good pick.
It's a good pick. Let me see really quick. Hold on, I want to double check something before I make what I'm about to say because that secondary is looking dangerous right now. They were already looking dangerous last year, but they are looking solid right now. Let me see. Yep, they still got Eric Rowe over there, so that'd be nice over there to pair him up with Eric Rowe.
I haven't
I
seen
like
Eric
it.
Rowe in a while. Is he still? I remember him in New England, right? He was decent there.
Decent, yeah. He didn't do too much. But with Miami, with how Brian Flores was running that defense, he was put in great positions to really make plays. I'm
Same
not
system, right?
yeah, relatively the same. I definitely do think that they're playing more man, and I think that's something that Patrick Graham wanted to do last year. And I think that they're going to do a lot this year. I'd be really interested to see what kind of defense the Giants run this year because we did a lot of zone last year compared to us playing man. But I mean, this I gotta say I really like what Miami did just now. And the Eagles took who I thought they were gonna take. They took Landon Dickinson.
Oh wow, that's kind of
That
you know what
that's a good pick.
I thought he could have made it to the third round just because of his injuries.
Yeah,
Wow.
his injuries did concern me. And you know what? If they felt that he's a good fit over there and that the medicals came back decent, I mean, good for them. I didn't want Landon Dickinson in the second round, personally, just because of the injuries. Because I believe he tore his ACL twice, right?
Yeah, last time he tore it was like in December, just this last December. So he's not gonna be able to play to start the year.
Nah, not at all.
I figured because of the injuries he'd get pushed to third, but honestly, the Giants would have just took him in the second. I wouldn't cry to, I wouldn't cry about it. Because I mean, I think
Nah.
his upside, he could easily in a couple of years be a top 10, 15 interior guard.
He could be honestly
He's
a
nasty.
decent offensive lineman. He could be decent. I really think that if the injuries don't affect his play and if he can remain healthy, that's a good pickup for them. Because Landon Dickinson, I mean, I thought that he was a natural leader at Alabama, which is why I guess I like Creed Humphrey a lot. Is that he's a natural leader. I thought that he played with some dog with them, and Landon Dickinson, he has he look for his bend, for a man for his size, which he's a big guy. It's definitely good to have that kind of a player on your offensive line. I mean, he's smart. He's got some good hands on him, and
He's
hey,
a
I mean,
bully,
if he could
man.
stay healthy, yeah, he
He's a
is
bully.
definitely a bully.
Got a
I
mean
thought,
streak in him.
yeah, I thought that honestly, maybe Creed Humphrey would have been a better pick, or not a better pick, maybe a safer pick, just because the injuries aren't as bad as Landon Dickinson. But hey, good for Philly. They took their offensive
Yeah,
lineman.
well, Dickerson was my favorite guard out of the whole draft.
Really?
Yeah, I liked Vera Tucker, but like what freaks me out about Vera Tucker is his run blocking is like identical to Will Hernandez, which instantly makes me
Mm.
pause. But obviously Vera Tucker's a much better pass blocker. But anytime I see any kind of like I'm telling you, Will Hernandez has got me thrown off in my evaluation process. I even see a player that moves like I'm like, oh no, oh no. I get that twitch, you know.
Yeah, man. I am hoping that Ojolari is there for the Giants at 42.
That would be just amazing for Ojulari. We can get Ojulari. I'd move up right
God,
now. Bundle the. I don't care if you got to put together your 2-6 and your fifth. Go get them.
yeah, you
Shut
got
Giants
to,
fans
man.
up right now. Shut them right up.
Hmm. Oh my, let me. You know what? No, no, no. We're done bashing the bad Giants fans. I was gonna mention a comment I saw earlier that. Oh my God, how my blood boiling. You know what? No, I already mentioned it. I already mentioned it. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna just get off my chest. I saw someone saying it got like 80 likes under like the Twitter post for the Giants selecting Kadarius Toney, and he was like, "It's really sad that our organization listens to the fans instead of listening to the needs." And I'm just like, you don't think every team doesn't listen to their fans? You don't think at some point
That's
they
been a
have
big
an ear
problem with
out
the
there?
Giants franchise for a long time.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I'm glad that the Giants are listening to what the fans want. I really am. And if and honestly, the wide receiver position was a need for the Giants. Maybe not the biggest need, but it was still a need for the New York Giants. And again, I just feel that they're more sold on the offensive line than we as Giants fans may think. But I just still do think that they'll take an offensive lineman.
Well, people
I
get
think they'll take
focused
one today.
way too much on one prospect. It's like if you don't get that one prospect, the draft is over.
Yep.
You lost if you don't get that
Hmm.
one guy that they're hyper focused on. That's not how it works. And that player you're focused on, there's no guarantee. Look how Isaiah Simmons was the worst linebacker in the NFL last year, outside the last 2 weeks. How was
Man.
Giants fans act? How, not just Giants fans. How was every fan base acting about Isaiah Simmons?
You know what? It's I can't complain. I
He
I
was no. Listen, he was the worst linebacker in coverage and pass coverage in the NFL.
yeah.
Literally, when quarterbacks were thrown to him, he was allowing a perfect passer rating, 158, whatever it was, till like the last 2 weeks of the year. And that was what he was supposed to do. I was hearing from all the fans he was going to come in, lock down a tight end. We don't got to worry about tight ends burning us no more. Seems awfully funny because the first play when Isaiah Simmons' first game, first snap, he was covering a tight end. First throw was targeted right towards him. The tight end took it for a touchdown, and I just sat there and laughed, and I rolled on the floor.
God,
He got
I don't even
after
blame.
the first 2 games they benched him until like the last 2 games of the year or something. Like they just straight
Yeah.
up benched him. You know?
And you know, I feel as a Giants fan, it is so nice to now not have to really worry about the stigma that we can't cover a tight end because how long? Look, man, how long have we been saying we can't cover a tight end now? How long would you say that?
What
It's
year
been a
did
while.
Tony Gonzalez go to the Falcons? It started right around there.
Man, we haven't been able to cover a tight end in God knows how long. But now it's like I feel very good about whoever we have, guarding the tight end. Whether that's Xavier McKinney, whether that's Jabril Peppers, who looked solid in coverage last year, whether they put a linebacker on him. I am very I'm confident with how Patrick Graham runs his defense. I think that we saw last year that he gets the most out of his players, and yeah, I'm really happy with how the Giants have been progressing. I think that right now we're headed in the right direction, and I think we're going to be some. I don't want to jump off the cliff too yet. I mean, I don't want to go that far, but I think that we're going to be experiencing some good Giants football within the next couple of years.
I
Like
think so too.
as the oh yeah, well, like with this year included, but I'm stating like from last year, I thought last year was fairly decent. I wasn't expecting too much. I thought we exceeded our expectations. This year I'm expecting at least 9 to 10 wins. I think that we're going to be seeing some Giants football that we haven't seen in quite some time. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
And I think it's going to be here for a while. I'm really sold on Joe Judge.
all Giants fans are viewing this like this Dallas uh, Eagles trade as like an insult to us. I view it as a compliment. Because remember we were talking
Mm.
yesterday, like Dallas really had nowhere they could go. Like Parsons, you got two middle linebackers. They were just in a horrible spot. They had to trade back as much as they could, at least once.
Hmm.
And the way I look at it is, Jerry Jones sat there and went, "Well, where do we want Devontae Smith to go? To New York or to Philly? Who's going to be the
Yep.
bigger problem? Where would we rather see him go?"
They're not. Jones don't want to help Jason Garrett, man. Come on, you don't want
I'm
to
just
help
saying,
him.
I view it as a compliment that Dallas actually broke down and traded with the Philly to keep him away
Yeah,
from us. I view it as a compliment.
I can't. I mean, I think that they did view it that way. Who do we want Devontae Smith to go on? And I think that they wouldn't mind seeing Devontae Smith in Philly due to the fact that they don't got an offensive line. They don't, and I understand there are people high on Jalen Hurts. I'm not sold on him, and I don't think that he's necessarily the answer there. But I think that they'd much rather prefer seeing him in Philly than with the Giants.
And
A
I
hundred
know Daniel
percent.
Jones gets mocked and picked on a lot. Listen, guy had 26 touchdowns in his first 12 games ever as a rookie. Don't people
Yeah.
forget way too quick? The guy's capable. He had what, one game with 6 touchdowns, 4 games of at least 4 touchdowns in his rookie
Yep.
year.
Yep. I
He's
mean, look at the
capable.
games.
He's capable. And who did he have as a weapon? Like
Yeah, his best weapon was at least on the receiving end was Darius Slayton.
who ended up with like 700 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Yep. Hmm.
Golden
And
Tate was
now he's getting a
suspended the first 4
dominant number
games.
one.
Evan Ingram was hurt all year. Sterling Shepard was in and out hurt that whole year. Well, that's just what Sterling Shepard is now.
Hmm.
One thing or the other. But Jones's rookie year, I believe that was the year that Shepard got all them concussions, right?
Yeah, he did. And if I can, I don't want to say I expect the Giants to cut Sterling Shepard next year, but I think that with him considering retirement, man, I could see Sterling Shepard obviously not being on the Giants next year, but if some concussions keep piling up, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he were to retire. He has a newborn
I
kid.
I
She's
think
like
he's
two,
gone. And if Sterling
but
Shepard was only missed a few games in his career, I don't think the Giants even make this pick. If he
yeah.
was actually like reliable to stay healthy.
Mhm. Now
When
let's
Sterling
see.
Shepard, outside of his rookie year, I don't think he's ever played 16 games an entire season. I'm pretty sure that he's always missed at least 2 to 4 games minimum.
Yep, he does. He hasn't been fully healthy since we've selected him, but we have the Patriots. They selected Barrymore from Atlanta. That's a good pick. They needed
From
they needed some
Alabama?
help.
From
Yeah,
Alabama. Oh, good. They took him. That was what I was worried about. Gettleman, like reverting back to his old self and
I
Taysom.
know, man. I know. I was really worried that if he fell to 42, the Giants would take him. I'm just happy they didn't.
Yeah, I view
But hey,
BJ
it
Hill as a
works.
much better player than him.
Yeah, I'm personally high on BJ Hill. I want to see him get more time, and I think that honestly, he would do well in this scheme. His first season with us, he got 5 sacks.
Yeah, he was good. I think a lot of that though was he had one game right where he had a bunch, so it was kind of like a little misleading.
Yeah,
But the
let's
year
see.
that Leonard Williams, the year that we traded for Leonard Williams halfway through, even though BJ Hill wasn't getting the sack numbers like his rookie year, he was still getting to the quarterback, causing disruption, and actually in every metric he graded better than Leonard Williams after that season.
Yeah,
So I mean, that just goes to show you he's. I made a video. I believe in a video I said that I'd like to try and trade him because I
yeah,
just don't see how we're going to bring him back. I mean, he's going to get him. He's going to get more than what he's worth on the open market. He's going to get 5, 6, 7 million minimum.
yeah.
Somebody's going to bring him in on a 4 or 3. Somebody's going to
He's
sign him
gonna
like we
get a
did off
cheap
Dallas
contract.
years ago when we stole Chris Canny. Somebody's going
Yeah.
to get him that kind of deal. So I like to
And they're
trade.
going to
If you're
get a
not going
hell
to
of a
sign,
player too.
so I mean, you might as well get something out of it right now if you can. Is what I'm saying.
No.
Get
Hey,
these two
James Bond.
6th round
Oh, I
picks.
apologize, man. What were you saying? I apologize.
Oh, hey, James Bond.
Oh,
Some reason
I
you
didn't
got
mean to
that
cut you
name.
off. Yeah, I was gonna shout them out. I didn't want to cut you off, man. But shout out James Bond for joining the chat. You know, I appreciate you stopping by. Really, I really, really do appreciate it. Easy three. Garrett gotta let Danny fling it deep. Yeah, man, you're right. And
Facts.
hopefully if he can use Kenny Galladay in the same realm that he used Des Bryant, which I we're gonna see. We're gonna see how we use him, but I think that if you can use him in that role, Kenny Galladay is gonna have a big season for the New York Giants.
You want to hear how much of a deranged fan I am?
Talk to me.
I watched about 3 4 days ago. I watched a 48-minute highlight reel of Des Bryant, his career highlights in Dallas.
Hmm. God,
Sounds of a psychopath.
I was gonna
But
say, how the hell did you do that?
I just wanted to get an idea of how Garrett's going to use him. I do notice a lot of similarities there. There is some similarities. There is a lot of difference though between the players.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
I
he's used
mean,
exactly
hey,
the same way.
no, I don't think exactly the same way, but I think he's fairly close. Give me one sec. All
Des
right,
was more of
Atlanta.
like a bulldog. He's like a shit brick house. He's more of a stronger player like Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, man, he was a beast. He was a beast for Dallas, Des Bryant. And on the topic of Brandon Marshall was one of my favorite wide receivers in the league. I was very, very happy when the Giants signed him, and I was also really upset that it didn't work out either. I thought that was going to be one hell of a trio with him, Shepard, and OBJ. But man, didn't work out. Man, let's see. Atlanta. Okay. So the Atlanta took UCF safety Richie Grants, and the Lions take Levi. How the hell do I pronounce this?
Fee fi fo
Unwuzurike.
fum.
Yeah, fee fi fo thumb. Levi Unwuzurike out of Washington, defensive tackle. So the Giants are on the board right now. We're gonna, or they're headed towards the board. I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what the Giants do.
Oh
Do me a
July, oh
quick favor,
July.
real quick. Hold this
Yeah,
down for me for 1 sec. I'm gonna just fix the microphone. Give me 1 second.
yeah, you're good, bro. Get it. Yeah, I don't know how everybody's on. I don't see how somebody would just be so focused in on a prospect like Parsons that they would say that the trade back wasn't worth it. We don't know how awful. We don't know how bad Chicago could be horrible next year. They could start Justin Fields week one, and he could just struggle and be awful. That Bears pick could turn into a top five, top 10 pick. Now I predict it to be more around where the Giants pick this year, the 11 to 15 range, but you never know. It's the NFL. A couple of them defensive players get injured. That could be an amazing pick. It could be an amazing pick for us. Yeah, that was crazy. That one game, bro. I think it was our top, not even our top three starting wide receivers, our top four wide receivers. That blew my mind. Yeah, I'll never. I knew the season was over right there.
Alrighty, we are back. We're
The
good.
signs were there even before that because Brandon Marshall was started off really slow. The offensive line was still bad.
Let's see
Dude,
here.
exactly. It's a first round. Like even if it's a 25th pick, you get that 5th year option. If there's a player that's about contract's about to expire, you can fill in a spot seamlessly as long as you make the right pick.
Yeah. No, I shit.
I don't
It's a
see how
first round.
Peppers
I'll
is going to
take
get
it.
re-signed here. I know Giants fans and I love Peppers too, but I don't see how he stays. And at some point, you got to start to work this season. You got to get McKinney more snaps in there and slowly fade Peppers out because
Wow.
he's gonna get huge money, dude. We can't give him the Landon Collins contract. We can't do it,
Hey,
especially if
break.
Daniel Jones comes out and has a huge year. Saquon Barkley comes out and has a huge year. Who are we going
Hmm.
to prioritize? Are we going to say, well, we better draft another quarterback, even though ours is finally playing good, so we can sign our safety Shepherds? I mean,
No, I mean you make a point there, but I want to say breaking news: the Giants have traded number 42 to the Miami Dolphins. We're waiting right now what the trade details are.
really?
Yep, we're waiting to see what the trade details are.
I think Joe Judge has
Oh,
got his fingerprints on this.
this is good. The Giants traded 42 for Miami's number 50th pick and a third round pick in 2022. That's a good trade.
Wow, they're stocking up for next year, huh?
They're stocking up, man. I mean, Gettleman is he's fleecing people. I gotta be honest with you. He didn't want to get fleeced, but he is really working this
So he
draft,
moved
man.
back 9 spots and got a third round pick next year. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yes. He moved 8 spots and got a third round pick for next
So
year.
he probably had a choice of a fourth round this year or a third next.
Yep.
I wonder why he's stocking. See, that's listen. This is what's making me think a couple of these players that are coming up with expiring contracts, they're not going to get re-signed. These kind of moves are
It's
what's making
possible.
me think like
It's
this, man.
possible. I mean, look, especially because the Dolphins just took Notre Dame offensive lineman Liam Ekenberg. There's going to be some talent at 50. No doubt about it.
Well, you can get a
No
starting
doubt
guard
about it.
or a decent edge rusher there. You can get a starting guard right now, even when the next spot comes up.
I mean, Ojolari is falling. Humphreys is falling. There's some players there, man.
I thought Humphreys would be an end of the second round, beginning of the third round guy. Where I had him.
Yeah, I was
I think on my
definitely
O line
shocked that he's
video, I
still
had him
here.
third round.
I mean, he's a good player, and I think that this trade back and if I don't want to read too much into the glass, but this definitely does have Joe Judge's fingerprints on it. But I got to give credit to Dave Gettleman as well. Dave Gettleman has been doing very well in the draft. And he's really collecting some picks now, man.
James Bond. I think you'd have to wait. What do you value more, a middle linebacker or a first round pick, an extra first round pick for next year, and an extra third or extra fourth round pick and a fifth round pick this year? What do you value more? A middle linebacker where you're already decently strong. Tate Crowder was okay this year, was good. He progressively got better every start when he played. Martinez is just a tackling machine. We know we got him at least for the next 3 years. He's good as hell. I mean, the value again, the obviously like Gettleman hits on his picks more often than not, but at some point in the draft, when you get back in them picks, it's a coin flip. So the more chances you got, the more chances of a hit.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man.
And the majority of
And
the NFL
honestly,
teams are just a middle of the road average starter, hits, third rounds, fourth rounds players.
and the Giants right now really have to. They're playing this smart, and they have to. They really have to play this smart. And I think that as much as I loved Micah Parsons, I had no issues with the Giants not taking them. I really like the impact that we've got with Blake Martinez. I thought Tate Crowder played a lot better than we thought that a player at his draft position would really play. Um,
Yeah. He won
I
us a
I
game.
was he did he had the game winning touchdown, and it's like I feel like this goes into our conversation, man, of what we were talking about last night, to where sometimes we're very quick to want the now and instead of just being patient. And that's usually with the younger generation. I'm not saying that's for James Bond, but I think that is definitely people like my age, where we just want the now. We want to see the results right now,
Well,
and I think
especially when
that's
you've been bad for a long time. I
oh yeah,
understand it. I understand it. Somebody like
hey
me and
man.
EZ3, we're a little bit older. We've seen like we probably can remember four Super Bowls. So we've also lived through a massive rebuild through the '90s. We watched it, so we know what's up with a rebuild also. And then you go
Yep.
to the older people. They lived through the '70s, which was horrific, from what my dad told me. It was a horrible time.
Yeah. I
So
mean, let's see really quick.
I get people being impatient, but you could be impatient and be reasonable at the same time. you know.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. All right. I'm just trying to update to see if we got any news with the Giants. Excuse
I
me,
was
with the
surprised to
draft. I
see something.
apologize. Let's see. I'm not seeing nothing here. I know that I know that Las Vegas traded up. Huh. Let's see. I don't know. I think we're looking good. We're gonna see what happens. But I mean, there's a lot of trades going on right now, man. There are a lot of trades going on right now,
Yeah.
and you gotta love it. You gotta love it because there's talent falling right now.
Well, we pushed all our contracts forward next year, so there's going to be no big free agent signings. You better build up
Oh
to.
no, 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 no! I don't think that at all. I don't think that there are going to be any big free agent signings. I said that in my video after we signed Dory Jackson. I
Yeah.
said we this was our splurge year. We haven't had that in quite some time, really since 2016. And you can't expect the New York Giants to do that next year. It would be insane to think that they would.
I think you
They're
could
going to
see
be very
maybe one
conservative
big
next year.
signing. Maybe a Dory Jackson don't work out. Maybe they cut him and they go sign another corner or something. Other than that, I mean,
Mhm.
this team is what it is. You're probably the free agent signings you're going to see next year are just like team filler moves.
Yeah,
Like the Reggie Ragland kind of moves, like we saw at the end of this week.
yeah, that was a
Nothing
good,
big.
good signing, man.
I think so too. I liked him. I like him. Gone for league minimum too.
Yeah, and yeah, James Bond, I couldn't agree more, man. Our defense was great last year, and I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked. I didn't think that our defense was gonna be as dominant as it was. But this is the Giants. Look, these players are going into another season with this scheme under their belt. We added some great pieces with Adoree Jackson. I Reggie Ragland, I think that was a solid pickup. I like the Fedi Udetabo. Danny Shelton, I think that was a sneaky good pick. He hasn't really panned out as a first round pick, but I think that he could be effective here. And if the Giants
For
go
what you need him
edge,
for, though, he's perfect.
he's perfect. Yeah, I'm not expecting him to get to the QB, but I think that he'll be great in the run game.
I want to see Dexter Lawrence get more snaps anyway this year going to the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback.
Yep.
But Danny
Yeah.
Shelton is just as good as Dalvin in run stuffing department. Obviously he's not going to get a little push on the quarterback like Dalvin did, but Dex played like 60% of the snaps. There's no reason why Dex can't be in there 75% of the snaps this year.
Yeah. No, you're right there, man.
And he's honestly the way he graded out and his just everything he did last year, doubled up just about every stat. I think he's a top five interior defensive lineman. I do.
Yeah.
I think run stuffing right now he's top three. I put him up there like V to V. Dude, he had a missed tackle rate of 3.6%. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I
Do
it,
you know what
it,
Dalvin
it
Tomlinson's
really
was?
is.
Delvin
How much?
Tomlinson's was 13% missed tackle rate. Dexter Lawrence had a 3.6.
God,
That is
man.
elite of elite of elite.
Mm-hmm.
Snacks Harrison wasn't even close to them kind of numbers when he was
No.
there.
No. And I want to say this before we continue this on. I want to say shout out Dave Gettleman. Looking at it now, I was writing this down while we were talking. The Giants will have two first round picks next year, two third-round picks next year, and two fourth-round picks next year for the 2022 draft. You gotta love that. I gotta give a lot of credit to Dave Gettleman. I think honestly, next year's draft is going to be fun. Next year's draft is going to be fun, and we're having a great time with this draft. So I'm really excited, to
It
see
all
it. I
feels like a
mean,
bonus,
we'll
don't it?
see.
Like it all just feels like a bonus from free agency.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And I think that with how well we did in free agency, which I thought we had, there's some Giants fans that believe that we had the best free agency. I don't think the best, but I do think top three. I thought New England did a very good job, to be honest with you. But I think that when you look at the wants and needs and the players that we got, it's hard to argue how well the Giants did. And you look at not just the draft capital that they got, but just the wide receiver and Kadarius Toney and whoever they pick up here with this trade back, the Giants, man, more than have been making up. Honestly, I'm very happy. I'm very pleased, and I think that definitely this is the Joe Judge effect. I definitely do think so. I don't know how much Joe Judge had, in terms of say to Dave Gettleman on trading back, but I remember watching that presser with Dave Gettleman, and he was saying that he pretty much called up Ryan Pace, and then from there he let Kevin Abrams do the rest of the trade.
Yeah.
So that goes to what you and I were talking about yesterday with Easy Three. They could be, getting Kevin Abrams ready for a general manager position. Do I think it'll happen? I actually think that it's more likely than we may think. I think that we're already seeing the process kind of in our eyes already, because I don't really remember him being out in public and out this much. Excuse me, out mentioned this much
No, he never was.
prior
He
to
never was.
this. Prior to this offseason. So
I don't
definitely
think he was
confusing there.
assistant. I don't think he was technically assistant GM last few years either.
Nah,
What was
nah.
his? He had an official title, but it was like money or something, free
Yeah,
agent something.
he really just handled money. He didn't really do anything too crazy.
Yeah, he just structured the cap and figured out the money of everything.
Yeah.
On a side note, though, I was talking to Entertainer a while ago, and we started
Hmm.
talking about like how this team is being built compared to the 2007 team.
Hmm.
And Chris was kind of saying like, "Oh no, no, that 2007 team was built all pretty much mostly through the draft." And I said, "No, no, let's break this down." So we started breaking it down, and I actually made him concede to my point.
Yeah.
When we
No,
brought Eli in, and that team started clicking, our right tackle, our center, Sean O'Hara, Kareem McKenzie, got brought in free agents. The middle linebacker, Antonio Pierce. The wide receiver, Plaxico Burris. The cornerbacks, what was across from Corey Webster.
that came from free agency.
Yeah, you could run through the team. Half the team was free agents.
Hmm.
Obviously,
Now,
you got the right picks for what you brought in through the draft. You had Strahan and Osi and the quarterback, Corey Webster. You had some, legit important positions that were brought in, but half that team was free agents. All the linebackers, Carlos Emmons, all them guys, whoever they were, Brandon Short, they were all every year they'd bring some new guy in for the
yeah.
linebackers. And in 2007, they brought in Gavika Mitchell or whatever his name was from
Hmm.
Kansas City, and he was just crazy good that whole playoff run. Every time they'd blitz him, he was just chasing the quarterback down.
Yeah, he was solid, man. Solid. Let me see real quick. All right, so we got the Las Vegas Raiders, and they selected. Hold on, I just got it right here. Hold on, give me one sec. I'm just waiting for this to load. Not load, excuse me. I'm waiting for this man to just talk. Like, come on, Roger, what are you doing?
You think Ojulari's going to fall back like Lorenzo, like third round?
I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible. All right, so we got the Raiders selected Trayvon Morig out of TCU, safety. That's a good player for them. They needed some
Yeah.
safety help. I don't know if Abrams is really working out for them, but I thought I was high on Abrams when he came out of college. But I think this is solid. They definitely need some secondary help, to be honest with you.
They've missed on so many of them picks. They got to get them
I
right this
know,
year.
man. They got to fix it somehow.
That's the thing. Like, if you miss on them picks, you got to pick them again. I know the fans hate it, but like you miss on Eli Apple, you got to go get DeAndre Baker. You missed on that one too. You
Yeah.
see where it ends up. It ends up you end up paying $15 million to James Bradbury, which worked out okay for us, but you end up having to pay if you keep missing.
No, I honestly, man, Dallas. Excuse me, not Dallas, because Dallas is on the board right now. But no, the Vegas they had to put that man on the hot seat at some point, man, because he hasn't won nothing, man.
He's got a 10-year contract
I know, which is insane.
for like $100 million or something stupid, ain't it?
Hmm. It's a lot. It's 100 million. Yeah. Hold on. So we got Dallas selecting. They're announcing it right now. Man, what are you yelling on the mic for? Shoot, damn. This man just screaming on the mic. Paul Warfields.
Oh,
What's
Warfield.
hold on. No, he's man, this man just talking. We're gonna see. Let's see who they select.
What pick are we on?
The right now we're at 44. They're
Okay.
about to announce it right now. He's just hyping up the Cowboys right now.
Man, Jets got a bunch of wide receivers now too.
They see. Oh, they go Calvin Joseph, cornerback from Kentucky.
Okay.
Hey, I mean,
I didn't look at that player. I didn't look at corners this year, so I didn't
I
see
I, I didn't really
the
look at
top
him
end
either.
one.
Um,
I've
I
heard the
thought that they were
name.
going to go Surtain, to be honest, the first round,
They
but
didn't take a
I didn't do
chance.
too much research on him.
Remember, Denver grabbed him before they could.
Yep, and then they were like, "Nah, we'll trade back."
J.C. Horn went, and then Sertain went back to back.
hmm And Jacksonville selects Stanford offensive lineman Walker Little.
Yeah, it wasn't
Huh?
huge on him.
Nah,
I don't think it was a reach. I mean, it was right around where he went. When I looked at the
man.
offensive lineman, I tried to look at zone guys because that's what they ultimately want to run with Saquon, and then I focused on some power guys because that's what we ended up running the gauntlet. And it seems like when we switched to the power scheme, we actually started getting stuff done.
Shit. I mean, you're not wrong there. We're gonna see here. I mean, you still got Cincinnati on the board. You got the Chargers on the board. It's possible
It
Ojolari
just
could
sounds like a good
fall,
place
man.
for Ojolari because they just lost
Yeah.
Ingram. That seems like a good spot.
JOK is still there too. And Creed Humphrey. You know, you could go get a Joseph Asai, you could get a Carlos Basham, you know. You still have a Sate Samuel there, which I don't want to take him. I'm just saying he's there. Jabril Cox is still on the board. So there's players on the board for the Giants to select.
I like Jabril Cox.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do too much study on him, but from what I heard from people, he looks solid. I heard that, his he's pretty much like the typical modern day linebacker that a lot of teams would be looking for. I know that he played in multiple schemes, but
He
that's
reminds
really
me of the
it.
guy that Washington took. They're pretty similar. The John Brown
Uh
guy.
who? I'm sorry, repeat that.
Washington took the middle linebacker, John Brown. I'm not cutting out, am I?
Oh, no. You were fine. You were
All
fine.
right.
It was mine. You're
Okay.
good. No, you're good. You're fine. I mean, if that's the case, then I mean that's a good player right there. I mean, for what I'm seeing here, I mean 6'3", 232. Hey, that's whole man right there. And I see that he had 199 tackles, and I mean I don't think he'd be bad. I mean I would prefer an edge more than anything, but or if you are going to go linebacker, JOK, but
It's pretty obvious they're not high on Ojolari. They just traded back and they could have got him.
yeah, but I also think that with how the draft is playing out and two teams after them traded, I think it's possible they feel that they could get them later on.
Oh, I wouldn't risk
Um,
it. I mean, I guess
I
you could
wouldn't
always
risk
have
it
in your,
either.
I guess you could have in your mind like I'm always gonna at least get a guard if he's gone.
Yeah, because you
And then
know that
third round,
Cincinnati's not going to take an edge
you
rusher. They need
third
offensive
round,
tackle.
you could probably get Roche from Miami right in the third. You could probably get
hmm
either one of the guys from Pitt. Either one of them guys, I'd take. They played with their hands in the dirt, but I like both of them. Who's edge rusher?
I won't complain, man. I will not complain. I want to see who they pick though, because this year is going to be an interesting pick, man. Whether it goes offensive lineman or edge, I have a feeling they're gonna go edge.
It it
That's
would
just me.
be
I feel like they
it
would.
would be the better move because you got a better chance of getting a guard in the third, fourth, fifth round than an
Mhm.
edge. You don't get a Lorenzo Carter that falls back to the third every.
No, you got a point there, man. I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, I let me ask you something. How do you? I think it would be. Uh, I think it'd be kind of wrong to put an assumption of how well he would play this year. But if you could guess, how well do you think Lorenzo Carter would play coming off of that Achilles injury?
They say it takes 2 years to get back to who you were. Here's the thing: Lorenzo looked really good last year, and he did have like one sack where he had a hold of Ben Roethlisberger, and he should have had the
Yep.
sack, but then Dexter Lawrence hit him over and got the sack from him.
Mm-hmm. I know
So
what
he
exact play you're talking about.
so at that point, if he would have got that sack, he would have gone pace to have about 8. But when he got hurt, he was right about on pace to have the same amount of tackles and sacks as he had every other year of his career, even though he was just looking better, moving around better.
Yeah,
He was
he looked great, man.
he was still on pace to have around 4 sacks, like 60 tackles, something like that.
Nah,
I don't know.
I
He's not
don't
going to
know
be
either.
better. He's not going to be. I don't think he'd be. Maybe he's had time to work with coaching and work on his pass rush moves, and maybe his lack of athleticism. He can.
I mean, I think that he's gonna need some time coming back,
I think you're
which
going to
is
get 5, 6
why.
sacks tops out of him. I mean, I just feel like that's his ceiling at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and I never thought that he'd be a 10 sack guy. I didn't think that he would be that at all. But I thought that he could be very productive in this Patrick Graham scheme, and he looked solid in the Pittsburgh game. You know, he had moments where it's like, okay, like this could be a good year for Lorenzo Carter, and unfortunately, he had that Achilles injury. But the Bengals selected Jackson Carman, offensive tackle out of Clemson. They're going they're just going straight Clem. I mean, nah. You know what? Nah. I think I think that's a good pick. I think that's a good pick for them, given where they were at. I'm not gonna say that that was a reach. I think it's okay. Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
Again,
I
like we
think
were
that's an
talking
okay
about,
pick.
how do we know? Until they get a
Yeah.
chance.
I don't want to be like it's gonna be horrible, but given where they were, I guess it's like I was in favor of them getting Penny Sewell. I thought that that was a bigger need than you getting Jamar Chase. But hey, you got your tackle, I guess, man.
They're really counting on Riley Reef, and when he was with Detroit, I mean, he was horrible. He was just not good there.
And clearly, they feel that
I
they
don't
feel
know.
that this player is going to
Joe
really
Burrow
come in and
better
do
have some
something.
good pocket presence over there. That's all I gotta say.
To say the least, yeah. To say the least. I mean, God, I really worry for him, man. For real, I really do worry about him, man.
You're missing big chunks of time
Yeah.
in your first 2 years. That's young quarterbacks back.
Yeah.
The more games you can, especially in your first 2 3 years, the more games you can get out there and get the experience and play, the better. We've already seen with Daniel Jones, he missed 4 games his first year, 4 games his second year. He's actually technically only played a season and a half of full games, and we're talking about make or break now, going into his
Yep.
third season, and he's played a total of a season and a half. So it's important to be able to keep these guys safe. If you're going to have a short leash, like the fans say there is, they all tell me it's different nowadays. It's different. It ain't like it used to be. They don't
Yeah.
give them time they used to. Okay,
Jaden, I think we'll get JOK at 50. Mark it. Hey, it's possible, man. It's possible. I mean, we're
would you
gonna
think they? Do
see.
you think they play him at middle linebacker though, or safety?
I think it would be best to play him at middle linebacker. I don't think we need any more safety help, if I'm being
Because he
honest
was a
with you.
little undersized. He was like 220. His weight weight last year.
Let's see.
I saw a Cowboys fan saying they wanted him in the second round. I was laughing. But dude, you literally want JOK and Parsons?
God,
He
I
wrote
mean, they
back.
need
Yeah,
all the
he said
defensive help that they need.
he
They
says
need.
I don't
Yeah,
want Jalen Smith or Vander Esch on this team. I'm done with both of them. Like, damn, this is a brutal Cowboys fan.
yeah, to say the least. Yeah,
He's done. He's done with them.
Man, I at that point I was thinking about it last night. I think that with them selecting Parsons, I think that's Van Der Esch's way out. I know we were talking about, Jalen Smith and he's making the most money, and I thought Jalen Smith would be the one that could get cut. But
Well,
Van
if
Der
Jalen
Esch,
plays
he
though,
exactly Van Der Esch just can't stay healthy to save
how can you
to
justify
save
a
his
guy that's
career.
never on the field?
Yep.
How can you justify paying him money? And he ain't get,
God.
he's gonna get paid something. He ain't gonna get league minimum. Somebody's gonna give him more than he should get.
I mean, I think he'll do fairly decent, but we'll see.
At this
All right,
point, if I'm a GM, I take a flyer for 4 or 5 million a season on him.
I would too. At that rate, I would absolutely. We're gonna see really quick. Nice. Okay, so we got the Chargers. The pick is in. We're gonna wait to see what happens.
Here goes Ojolari. Here it goes.
Please don't, man. Don't do it to me, man. I really do. I really do want Ojolari.
Well, it
Go
makes too
ahead.
much sense. They got their offensive lineman in the first. Ingram's gone. I think they're done with him.
Yeah, I mean, we got the pick in for the Chargers, and at pick 47, the Chargers select Asante Samuel. Hey,
Junior. Wow.
yeah, I thought. Look,
They went corner.
they really did need corner help over there. I love Derwin James. I know he's not a corner, but he can't stay healthy, and you need some help in that secondary, man. So I thought that this was necessary, but the 49ers are about to be on the clock. The Cardinals are at 49. I don't see them getting another linebacker. So for me, you got Ojolari, you got Osai and JOK there, and I like that. I like that we were able to trade back, get an additional, pick next year, and the
Yeah.
players that we most likely were going to look to get is possibly about to fall to us.
Well, we got a chance for at least one good
Yeah,
prospect there.
we'll
Man,
see, man.
I'd hate to just like leave Tay Crowder with no job on his team.
Man, I don't know. God, I am
I guess we
really
could work
wondering
him
what the
in.
Giants are going to do.
I guess we could work him out on the field for some stats.
I don't think it'd be bad. Mm-mm. Let's see really quick. The 49ers look like their pick is in.
Yeah,
This
starting to
draft is
clear pretty
going
quickly.
quick. I like this. They're going
Yeah.
quick. They're like, I want to go home. Like, I like that. I want to go home too.
What's this? The
I
second,
play.
third round tonight?
It's the second and third. Yeah. Um. Let me see. Yeah. Let's. Okay. So who do they pick here? Who the hell?
Should have a list of all the prospects up on a photo or something.
Man,
Too lazy to do that though.
no, I think so too. I mean, with them going through round two and round three, they are gonna get a solid player there for them. Um, you gotta. I'm sorry. You gotta love. You gotta like what the Giants are doing right now. I really like what they're doing.
I think Joe Judge is definitely. I'm not normally for siding with the Gettleman haters. I give all the credit to Judge, but this just has Judge's fingerprints on it right here. This little trade back.
Mm. Hey, I mean, we're stacking up picks. We're stacking up, some nice players, man. Love it.
Then again, since Gettleman's been here, we've never had a season where he was going into with like pretty much no cap room. So
That's true. That's true, man.
we're looking at a whole different situation. Maybe I shouldn't give Judge too much credit here.
You're gonna have people that ain't gonna give him credit for nothing, man. We know how it goes. We know how it goes. At least I could admit that I at first was a Dave Gettleman hater, but I came around. You feel me? And I was like, nah, man, that man's done some right things.
Well, if they
Like we
want
gotta.
to see, I was like all for firing Gettleman if Pat Shermer was going to go.
Hmm.
But once you bring in Joe Judge to me, it almost kind of resets it somewhat. Once you bring Judge in with Gettleman, they got to be together. You can't
No,
keep
I'm
hiring
there with you,
coaches and GMs out of sync with each other. You can't do that. You gotta play it out.
man. Yeah, I'm there with you, man, for real. Damn. Let's see. How I feel like this pick has been in for so long. Like, oh my god, what is the pick? Like,
Yeah, they
like
hold on to some to get some extra commercials.
yeah, they're just holding on to that pick.
Yeah,
Come on, man,
yeah.
just announce it already, man. All right, so we finally got it. Jesus Christ, man. The 49ers with the 48th pick in the NFL draft select Notre Dame guard Aaron Banks.
Ooh, I
Damn.
don't want to say that. I don't want to say that's a reach, but that's early, man.
Yeah, I thought he'd go in like the third, maybe
Fourth,
the late
fourth,
third or
yeah,
fourth.
yeah. He's a
But
power run. He's a powerful dude. He's a full on a power run ball. I know what they're gonna run over there. They're gonna beat people up in San Fran.
man, I mean, I don't know. I why would you? You're reaching our potential at that point. Which, hey, I
Well, here's
trust
my thing with Aaron
Shanahan.
Banks. I don't think he's a horrible athlete. So like moving laterally left or right, I don't think he's gonna be able to just zone running is out of the equation.
Yeah,
If you just want to run downhill power running, so, pull him once in a while and just put a helmet on a helmet, I think he's good. I think he's a starter. You can start him right now.
I mean, I think he's a solid player, but I don't know about it. The second round, man.
We'll see. Maybe he comes in and he just starts throwing people around.
Let's see. And now, what I'm definitely interested to see is Arizona because Arizona, I think they could go the Terrence Marshall route. I actually think that would be a good fit, and their pick is in. And the Giants are
There's a
about to
run
be
on
up
guards
after
right now.
Arizona, so
There's a
we're
run on
gonna
offensive
see.
line right now.
I'm sorry, what happened?
There's a run on offensive line right now.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that this many offensive linemen would be taken.
Yeah, me neither. I thought you start to see a whole lot of corners and safeties go right here more than anything.
Yeah, no, there's only been two safeties taken off the board.
Yeah.
Two. That's insane. That's insane.
Takes Banks. There's so many different other centers and guards that are left. See, that's the kind
I,
of stuff when I hear that, dude, like it makes me want to question, like, what if I know what I'm actually looking at when I watch the film?
I mean, it's like you ever like see a team pick a player and kind of question like, "Ayo, like, do I
Yeah,
know
but
what I'm looking at?" Like,
who am I to question it? Like these guys
yeah,
are. Shanahan runs one of the best offenses in the NFL. I mean, the guy knows. I guess if you're
nah,
looking at it through a lens of you got your specific scheme, because that's something I'm not going to look at for every team. I'm not going to sit there and zero in on their specific scheme.
man,
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you what the hell our scheme is.
I couldn't tell you either. But we got the picking for the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals with the 49th pick are picking up wide receiver Rondell Moore out of Purdue.
Wow.
That's. I thought they were going
Wow.
to go the Terrence Marshall route, but that's a nice player. I think that would
If he
fit
stay, I'll tell you
their
what, if he
scheme.
stays healthy, huge bet.
That's a good pick, man.
I'm telling you,
That's
Arizona can be dangerous if it clicks for them.
I like I was because we were talking about this briefly last night. It's not that I'm not fully sold on Arizona. I'm just not sold on their defense.
Yeah,
I love their offense, and I think even if Larry Fitzgerald were to retire, they're in good hands. I
they're gonna put up
like
30 a game.
Kyler Murray. I like him as a quarterback,
They're
but
gonna put up 30 a game.
yeah, man. I mean, we're gonna see, man, because this could be a scary offense, even with Larry Fitzgerald retiring.
If Rondell Moore can stay healthy, I think he could be a top five slot receiver in the next 2 3 years.
Um,
I'd be willing
Rondale
to bet
Moore.
high.
Hey, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
That you know what? I equate that to like the year we took Sterling Shepard. That's the kind of a pick I equate that to right there.
I want to see.
Obviously, he's much more of an athletic freak, but positional value, that's how I view it. Obviously, now Sterling Shepard went down the other road. He could never stay healthy. Let's see if
Yeah.
Mondale can
Which is so
make it through.
unfortunate because I thought Sterling Shepard had so much potential coming out of Oklahoma.
His rookie year, he was amazing. He did because everybody used to talk
Yeah.
about how great Odell was catching the ball, and Shepard literally never dropped anything.
That was his best season, if we're being honest.
Actually, I think last year was his best season.
You think last year was Sterling Shepard's best season?
Yeah, his stats were much better. Even though,
Okay.
even though he played less games, it was much better. I think he had a lot more touchdowns his rookie year, but outside
He
of
did. He had quite a few.
if you're just looking at like touchdown wise, you'd have to say his rookie year. But they were saying, and that the coaches said this, that Sterling Shepard's rookie year, he did not drop one pass through the entire training camp or off season. Not one pass. Caught every single one. It's like an old urban myth. I don't know if the coaches were lying or that's what they claim.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna see, man. We are gonna see what happens, man.
The Giants run the clock, right?
Yeah. They're on the clock right now. We're gonna see. You got man, you got Ojalari there, JOK. Man, you got Dylan Rollins there still from North Dakota. Hey, man, we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
We got a couple of Alabama linemen left, I think. Reed Humphreys. We have all kinds of linemen left.
Yeah.
I want Ojalardi, man. Just give us Ojalardi. It'll make the story.
Let's go.
What do we
I'm
say?
sorry. I got the notification, but I don't want to say it until the pick comes up on my screen. Ah, my God. All right, they're about to announce it right now. Wow. All right, you know what? Because they're taking a little bit. We're gonna see the knee. All right, you ready for this, man?
Yeah.
All right, with the 50th pick, the New York Giants select Aziz Ojolari,
Thank
outside the
you.
linebacker out of Georgia,
Thank
man.
you.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. This is, oh my goodness, what a good pick, man. Man, all right,
All the weight has been lifted off of me.
we just got Aziz Ojolari, man. That is wow. Wow. They look, the Giants took a risk trading back because it's possible that neither of those players were going to be there.
San Diego could have took him quick.
Yes. Yep, they could have. San Francisco could have went that route as well and taken him. I'm just saying, man, but wow. Wow, that is a good pick. That is a good pick, man.
There
Good
was
for
people
the
that was
Giants,
mocking.
man.
There was people that was mocking Ojolari up the 11 pick. There was,
God. Yeah, there were.
and
There
and
were.
the guys that were on Fireside Giants were like, I don't even think it would be a reach at 11.
Yeah, I was not a fan of taking him at 11. I was a fan of taking him in a trade back scenario, but definitely not at 11 for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I was all about Quiddy Pay. I just like his upside.
Hmm. Quiddy Pay would have been. I mean, that's you're getting a good player. I just had some questions on the fit, but you're still getting a dominant player at the end of the day, man. And with Aziz Ojolari, man, God, that's you found your edge rusher right there, man.
Well, listen,
Good pick, good pick, man.
I think he worst come to worst. If the coverage is good, he can grease the edge. Give him enough time, he's going to get to the quarterback. He does need to learn. Hear that wind? It's like 60-mile-an-hour winds
Yeah,
outside my house.
I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing.
Oh, well, I'm surprised you can't hear that, man. My window blew open earlier. Like my whole top of my window just caved in. We
Oh
literally
my
got like
God,
60, 70-mile-an-hour gust here. But yeah, I
jeez.
mean, I think he's like a Lorenzo Carter kind. Obviously, athletically, he's better. Now, if he never figures out them pass rush moves, probably going to be in 3 4 years. I know we're sitting here with Lorenzo,
Yeah.
but
No,
you
you
got to
got
take
me
the
there.
chance. You got to take the chance.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that that kind of a player that you're getting with Ojolari, man, you're getting a stud. It's worth it. And I think at 50, excuse me, I love it. I love the value and I love the capital that we received with trading back. Even though it's for next year, hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. We were still able to get a dominant player, and I'm happy, man.
In a couple
I am
years,
happy.
he could be OCU Mignon. You never know.
He could, he could. I've seen those comps, but I think it's interesting that you say what's his name, Lorenzo Carter, because it's outside of the athleticism, I could definitely see that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, they're very similar. Well, they came from the same school, so it's the
Yep.
same scheme.
Scheme.
Maybe that's why it's similar to me when I watched them. It's just I really got some Lorenzo Carter vibes.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
But Lorenzo looked a lot faster at Georgia too. When he came to the Giants at the NFL, he didn't seem as fast as he
Yeah,
did in
yeah, I
college.
was. That's a good point that you
I
made there.
think
He
he
seemed a
bulked up a
lot
little
faster.
bit. You know what I mean? I think he bulked up a little bit for the pros, and
You
he's
think that
lost a
he?
little bit of his speed.
There you go. I was gonna ask. You think he lost some speed? God.
Yeah, I mean, you go right now. You can go back and watch his film in Georgia, and it's just like, dear God. And he just never had that same burst when I seen him come into the Giants.
I thought he had a lot of potential with the Giants. And I still think he does, but
Yeah,
I don't know that knee injury, man. That's scary, man. That's scary to deal
that
with.
Achilles. Yeah, it's not like the ACL. I know people has gotten that Achilles tear, and they say like you are so much more apt to tear that thing again because that's such a big tendon and it's so stiff. It's so
Huh?
stiff when they put the new one in or they put it back together, however they do it, that like you can tear it so easily again. So maybe like it takes a couple years for the players to get back to where they were. Maybe it's because they're just so careful of it, they're thinking about it. You know what I mean? When they're out there, like don't push it too much.
Hey,
Try and
it's
take it easy.
definitely possible, man. I mean, I know it takes some time to come back from that kind of an injury compared to an ACL. Usually, people come back fairly quick when it's an ACL, from what I've seen. Not quick, but they come back 100% almost from the ACL.
And
But we're gonna
nowadays,
see.
when's the last player that actually had to retire because of ACL? Like I can't even think of it.
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you.
Because that used to be like back when I was like a kid in the '90s. It's like torn ACL. Was like, oh man, that's done. He's done. It could have been such a career.
Yeah.
Like,
It's. I mean, now with how technology has advanced and with how medical professions have advanced, man. I mean, it's like maybe we'll see that in the future with the Achilles tears, maybe. But where we at least where we're at now in terms of like ACLs, we have like the proper treatment, the proper rehab to where we can get these players back within a year. Um, I don't know. These injuries are so tricky, man, and I think that honestly, I wish him a speedy recovery, but I don't want to see him, hurt on the field again with him rushing himself back in.
thank you, Dave Gettleman.
But eh. Now with the 51st pick, Washington is selecting Samuel Cosby, offensive tackle out of Texas. I mean, they need some offensive line help, so that might work. I know if they just went and got Eric Flowers again, which God bless him, but
Good luck with that.
yeah, we gonna see, man.
I've had people tell me like he's good now, but when every time I watched like a Miami game, he was always allowing sacks. So maybe I'm just watching the wrong games.
I mean, no,
I still think he's awful. I don't know.
I'm not crazy about him. I mean, I'll take shit.
It just see I don't know what used to aggravate me the most about him, like, cause I know he cared because he would get mad and throw fits, but it just seemed like he was like a low effort guy when he was out there, and that's what drove me nuts about him. It's like he wasn't even trying sometimes. Like, come on, dude.
Yep, and it's so frustrating because we had to watch that for so long, man.
Yeah, we had to watch games that we lost, and we know exactly why it's happening. It's just this one thing. It's like just give this guy some help. Seriously, put a tight
For
end next
real,
to him.
man.
What
I
is
mean,
going? Like it's incompetence.
exactly. And Easy Three had a great point yesterday with him saying that it cost Eli Manning some years of his career. It did. It really did. And sometimes I think about what how Eli's career would have been if we provided him with the proper offensive line towards the end of his career.
The way I like to explain it to people is, once the quarterback gets the money, you're not going to be able to afford one of the tackles. So
Nope,
you
you're right.
must hit. You when you draft that tackle, you must hit. It must be the guy. And if it is not the guy, you are in trouble.
Yeah. No, you're right there, man. I don't. I got nothing negative to say there, man. You gotta hit on them.
You
You have
gotta.
to. That's a
You got
must.
zero room for failure there. That's the tightrope you got to work when you max out your quarterback. That's the rope you got to walk. It's the risk
Let's
you
see,
got to take.
man. Let's
But we
see
couldn't let Eli
here.
walk up out of here, man. You know what I mean?
No,
We had to
yeah.
pay him.
No, you're right, man. It
Yeah,
was
we had to
it
take
was
the
really
hit.
unfortunate how the end of his career really paved out, man. Because I thought he deserved better, and but he's still that's still my quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback.
I
You know,
loved Eli, man. I loved him. I still love him.
yeah. Let's see.
I got to meet a lot of the older Giants players because my dad
Oh,
knew them.
really?
Yeah, yeah. Carl Banks, Brad Benson, all them guys. My dad knew them all. He used to pull right up in the driveway and go talk to them.
Let's
Brad
see
Benson used to be
here.
an old offensive lineman in the 80s. He now actually owns the biggest chain of Chevrolet car dealerships
Oh,
in the
really?
country, I believe. Yeah, all through New Jersey, New York.
Oh, I
Benson
didn't know that.
Chevrolet.
Wow,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not know that.
My dad told me a story when he first met Brad Benson. He was working at a ground crew landscaping, and he
Mhm.
said Brad Benson had a big like koi pond with fish in it, and he was like they're eating lunch up there, and he was throwing like pieces of cheesecake from their lunch in there. Brad
What the
Benson thought
hell?
Brad Benson saw him like throw. He thought that he was throwing trash in the pond, so he ran out his
Mhm.
house. And he was running up the driveway. He was gonna piss pound everybody.
Oh my god.
He's like my dad's a big man. I mean, he was a shit brick house. Like he was like 240 solid. He's like
Yeah.
he was like two people put together. He was telling me. He's like, I'm telling you. He's like it's the only time I've ever been ready to run from a man. That guy was terrible.
God, I mean, that's a really good story. I'd never thought about throwing cheesecake, but hey,
I guess they're what I mean, like pieces of bread from the sandwiches were thrown into the fish and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I guess he's like he thought all the grounds crew was literally hucking just garbage in there.
Jeez.
I guess he came up there and muckled hold everybody. They're all screaming, calming them down.
Yeah.
I guess he finally
Man.
calmed down and started laughing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Do
I
me
got to meet
one
like
more.
Lawrence Taylor though when I was a kid and stuff. Man, all kinds of
Wait, you met Lawrence Taylor?
yeah, yeah,
That's
man.
awesome. I never got to meet him, man. Never got to
Yeah,
meet
my
him. I
dad
wish I
for
got
a
to
while. My
watch him.
dad owned a big like landscaping crew all through like upper Saddle River, New Jersey, where all the players own their homes. So.
Wow. I didn't. That's amazing, man. That is amazing. Hey, I
Well, it's
mean,
not
LT the
really.
goat,
New
man.
Jersey's a small state, man.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've been there a bunch of times. It's fairly small. I mean, you're gonna see a bunch of people there, especially celebrities. Kind of like that with Atlanta too. But do me one quick favor, Giant Opinion Sports. Hold it down for
Yeah,
one quick sec. I'm gonna go change these headphones because they've been giving me
yeah,
some
man.
issues to the
Do
the
that.
stream. All right, one sec.
What's going on? We got giant creators bugging out about the Ojolari pick. I wonder how we're gonna come up with how this guy sucks too. Well, he must not be good if he made it to 50. Must be something wrong with him. Ojolari, there was all kinds of red flags. Character concerns. Well, Jaden, I don't know if you're still in here, but it wasn't JOK, buddy. Put my comments and stuff. Is anybody out there?
Alrighty, we are back. Sorry about that, man. Thank you for holding it down.
I don't think anybody's here, bro. I think they dipped.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think so either. I just checked just now. Um, we could keep it rolling if you want, but if not, we could close it out here. Whatever you're feeling, my man.
Yeah,
Because
that's up to you, man. I can talk forever. Don't matter to me.
I mean, I could talk forever too. Which is why I don't have an issue with it. But I didn't know if you wanted to get a video out there, and talk about
Uh,
Ojolari,
I ended up
whichever.
having to
But
pull an all nighter because I was about to go to sleep last night. My cousin smacked a deer and totaled his car, so I had to drive home.
oh my God, I hope they're
And
okay, man, for real.
yeah, he's okay. Just he had to get a radiator and other parts for his car. So literally, by the
Man.
time I came back here, I was here at home for about an hour. I started to relax, and you hit me up. So I haven't even been to sleep last night.
You know what, man? Why don't you get some rest? I know you've been up, so we're I mean, we could close it out here. It's no issue, and then I'll probably live stream for the rest of the draft tomorrow, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, yeah. If once I'm out, I'm probably gonna be out for like 14 hours. To be honest,
That's
I
fine,
don't e-
man.
I don't even know. Once I go, I'm gone.
You just like me, man. I'm the same way. But yeah, let's do it there, guys. We're gonna close it out here. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Really, it really does mean a
Now
lot.
someone wants to show up.
Oh, what's good, everyone? What's up, Big Task? Man, you came at the end of the stream. We're about to close it out right here. But we're gonna jump back on probably tomorrow. I'm gonna see if he's available. But hey, Giant Opinion Sports, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Um, I'm very happy. Do you want to leave anything?
I'm I'm good. Couldn't ask for a better pick. Traded back, got an extra pick, got Ojolari, who was, you know, one of the guys I was thinking about in the first round. I was thinking Cody Pay or Ojolari. That was where my mind was focused on. Wasn't even thinking wide receiver. So we get another extra pick, and we get him at 50. I'm good. I'm good. That was the best pick I could think of. Go get our starting guard in the third round. Finish this team off.
Yeah, no issues there. I don't know why my like thing booted and took me out, but nope, I was able to hear you though. So
Take a
I'm
little
glad I
trip.
was able to hear you. But hey, big Taz, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate everybody that stopped by, man. We're gonna have more videos up. We're gonna make a video about Ochalari. Thank you so much again, Giant Opinion Sports, for coming on. It
Man.
really does mean a lot, man. And yeah, we're gonna get it started. So I appreciate you, man. Y'all be easy.